My name is Margaret Holt. I'm 63 years old, and for nearly 30 years, the little house on the edge of Portland had been my home. It was the house my husband, Robert, and I built our life in. The house where my son, Daniel, took his first steps. The house where birthday cakes were baked, Christmas mornings were celebrated, and countless family dinners filled the rooms with laughter. After Robert passed away, I painted the kitchen a warm, honey yellow. It was a simple color, but somehow it made the house feel warm again. As if that yellow would always be there. I was wrong, because one night I learned that sometimes a house can forget who gave it a home. It was Daniel's 34th birthday. The dining room was full of guests. Roast chicken filled the air with its rich smell. Wine glasses clinked. People laughed and talked over one another. A beautiful new chandelier hung above the dining table. Vanessa, my daughter-in-law, had ordered it without asking me, but I tried not to make an issue of it. I was simply carrying a tray of silverware, helping the caterer prepare the table. Then Vanessa turned toward me. Her smile disappeared, and in a voice loud enough for every guest to hear, she said, "You weren't invited, Margaret." Everything stopped. The caterer froze. The conversations died. Even the clinking glasses seemed to disappear. I stood there holding that tray, my hands suddenly trembling. I looked at my son. Daniel was holding his wine glass. He looked at me, but he said nothing. Vanessa repeated herself. "You weren't invited." This time her voice was softer, almost as if she were explaining something obvious to a child. I swallowed. "Of course," I said quietly. "Wouldn't want to ruin the picture." I put the tray down and walked away. I passed Robert's photograph hanging crookedly on the wall. I passed the kitchen that had once felt like my refuge, and I walked outside onto the porch. The air smelled like rain, but I knew the storm wasn't outside. It was inside my own family. And suddenly, I remembered how it had all started. Months earlier, Daniel had called me. He and Vanessa had lost their apartment in Seattle because the rent had become too expensive. "Mom, could we stay with you for a few months?" I didn't hesitate. "Of course, honey, this is your home, too." At first, I was happy. The house felt alive again. My grandson Oliver's little feet ran across the hardwood floors. Cartoons played loudly in the living room. There was laughter in the house again. But slowly, things began to change. It started with the guest room. Vanessa asked if she could freshen it up. 2 days later, my old floral curtains were gone. In their place were expensive gray linen curtains. Then she replaced my dining chairs. "These are too dated," she said. Before I could even respond, she had packed them into boxes for donation. Then one afternoon, I came home from the community center and noticed something missing. My rocking chair. The walnut chair Robert had sanded by hand. The chair that had been in that corner since before Daniel was born. I found it in the garage. It had been shoved beside several unopened delivery boxes. When I asked Vanessa about it, she laughed. "Oh, that old thing? It doesn't fit the vibe anymore." I said nothing. I kept telling myself it was temporary, but temporary kept getting longer. Then she started changing the kitchen. She hated the honey yellow walls. One afternoon, I even caught her recording a video for Instagram. She called my kitchen a fixer-upper. That same week, my neighbor Carol came over with an apple pie. She looked around the kitchen, then she looked at me. "You sure this is still your house, honey?" I forced a smile. Of course it is, but deep down, I wasn't so sure anymore. Then came the chandelier. A week before Daniel's birthday, I walked into the living room and found a brand new chandelier hanging from the ceiling. It looked like something from an expensive hotel. A delivery truck was still outside. Vanessa was wiping dust from her hands. "Surprise," she said. "Early birthday gift for Daniel." I stared at the chandelier. "How much did that cost?" She shrugged. "Don't worry. Daniel used his card.